Had to restart the video, but I'm glad that the previous video recording wasn't lost. It seemed like I had some kind of error or something pop up, but it's still recording, so we're good. And for some reason, it's just not showing my record time. But anyways, she must have been really worried about Kevin to react like that, and we're gonna go through here, save, of course, as we always do, especially since a lot of weird things seem to be happening with my PC at the moment, making me a little nervous. And we're gonna go ahead and move forward. Reese. Oh. Thank goodness. Yep, you're the real deal, all right. Thank Eidos. I was worried as hell about you, you know? I could say the same to you. Still, it looks like those really must have been grimoires then. Sure does. Grimoires? Is that the name of those fiends we encountered? You got it. It's a type of fiend mentioned in the Testaments. Although maybe fiend isn't the best word, they're said to be what souls eventually turn into after being thrown into Gehenna. People's souls turn into those? That's not a very pleasant thought. As I'm sure you know, the church teaches that the souls of sinners end up in the fiery depths of Gehenna. There they are tormented by the ceaseless flames, slowly losing their own sense of self over time. Till finally, they're said to end up as nothing more than a chaotic lump of spirit known as a grimoire. I'm getting goosebumps just picturing it. And that's what those shape-shifting creatures we encountered were? Yes. The mirrors and cannons that appear with them are all cursed items that have the same origin. How they did it, I don't know, but it seems our enemies have quite literally opened the gates of Gehenna. That's quite a fitting metaphor. That sounds like Schwarzritter? You again. Well, look who decided to show their ugly mode. Did that lord of yours send you to come check up on us? That is one of the roles I have been assigned, albeit not the only one. Joshua's reaction tells me I'm right. So Schwarzritter seems to take after, or is Leonhardt. I'm impressed by how quickly he progressed, even if it was with a significant amount of the Hermit's guidance. The Hermit? Who's that? The ghost we keep running into? I can't think of anyone else. She's been helping us in various ways since we've arrived here, and yet we still have no idea who she is. Indeed, I speak of her. She is a spirit that was left behind in Phantasma, as well as the master of the Hollow Garden. Of course, thanks to my lord taking most of her power, she can do little other than struggle as your guide. As usual, your cryptic nonsense just goes right over my head. Hey, if she's your enemy, that makes her our ally, right? I'll leave that for you to find out. Her position is hardly your concern at this time. I have a message for you from my lord.
次なるは獣の道。
Your next destination is the path of beasts.
新たなる供物を食らい、汝が印を発現させるがいい。
Devour the new offering presented to you and display your seal once more.
さすれば煉獄の炎はさらにたけり、我が王国は真の完成に近づく。
Then shall the flames of Gehenna burn ever fiercer, and my kingdom draw closer to its true completion. What?
どういう意味だ?
What is that supposed to mean?
どう受け取るかは、お前たちの自由だとの仰せだ。
My lord says that you may choose to interpret the message however you see fit.
それでは確かに伝えたぞ。
My task was simply to relay it to you. Uh-oh, Kevin's snapping.
Kevin!
Yeah, Kevin, you good, bro?
いや、悪い悪い。
Sorry, I couldn't help but laugh.
あんまり思わせぶりなこと言うから、つい壺に入ってしもたわ。
Tell me, what sad classes did you and that joke of a boss you got take to get your certifications on how to be a big bad?
大方俺らを煙に巻くためのたわごとやとは思うけど。
Nice touch trying to confuse us by spewing that cryptic bullshit, too. Bet you thought we'd keep ourselves up all night trying to figure that gem out.
それにしたって、いくらなんでも芝居がかりすぎとちゃうか。
I mean, the overblown theatrics make it a bit too obvious that it's fake, don't you think?
話がそれだけなら、とっとと消えたらどうや。
Well, you about done with us? If you are, how about you get lost?
くだらんざれごとに付き合うほど、俺らは暇やないで。
We've got better things to do with our time than listen to nonsensical riddles from a guy who can't even bother to show his face. Okay, so Kevin's clearly very clearly in denial about something. Like he's like, nah, y'all are just BSing me. But no, he is very much afraid of something. That's what I think.
どうやら我が王からの菓子、気に入ってもらえたようだな。
I see you're quite fond of the gift granted to you by my lord.
さぞや懐かしかろう。
Does it bring back memories? Gift?
Kevin!
Kevin? Oh no.
逃げる気?
You think you can get away?
いずれ改めて相まみえることになるだろう。
Fear not, we will encounter one another again before long.
我が名は黒騎士。影の国随一の守護者なれば。
I am, after all, Phantasma's foremost guardian.
それではさらばだ。
And with that, I bid you farewell.
あれが黒騎士。
So that's the short riddle you mentioned?
捨て台詞が好きなところは飼い主とそっくりやな。
He's the picture of his lord right down to taunting us as he leaves.
はったりで適当なことをほざいてるんが見え見えやで。
Too bad for him that it doesn't take a genius to work out they're both bluffing. Oh no, I don't think they bluff him.
次なるは獣の道。
Your next destination is the path of
新
beasts.
たなる供物を食らい、汝が印を発現させるがいい。
Devour the new offering presented to you and display your seal once more.
さすれば、煉獄の炎はさらにたけり、我が王国は真の完成に近づく。
Then shall the flames of Gehenna burn ever fiercer, and my kingdom draw closer to its true completion.
確かにどのようにでも解釈できる言葉ではあるな。
His words sound as though they have some specific meaning to me, but they could be taken in a number of ways at face value.
下手に真に受けると足を取られる恐れもある。
We could try to unravel said meaning, but that may hinder our progress more than help in the long run.
ね、そういうことです。
My thoughts exactly.
さてと、せっかく封印石が2つも入ったし、一旦拠点に戻ろうか。
Anyway, what's definitely not going to hinder us is going back to base and seeing who's in the 2 sealing stones we picked up.
そこの石碑を開放しておけば、すぐにでも探索を再開できるし。
If we activate that monument over there, we'll be able to come right back here to continue exploring later, too.
それもそうですね。
Thank goodness it's right there, huh?
今度はどなたが封じられているんでしょうか。
I wonder who's going to be inside these. I feel like Sherazard has to be one of them, maybe Zen. Oh wow, we completed chapter 3 already. I wasn't expecting to complete it so quickly. Before this episode concludes, I will go into chapter 4 and at least see who's in the Sealing Stones, and then we'll wrap up the chapter or episode because I'm invested, you know. Make some saves, keep it moving.
第543期修練生ケビン・グラハム
Kevin Graham of the 543rd class of trainees.
大いなる女神の名のもとに汝を聖杯の重騎士に任ずる
In the name of the goddess above, I hereby appoint you a squire of the Septine Church.
拝命しました。
I humbly accept my appointment.
我が血と肉は七王の断りに、魂は女神に捧げることを誓います。
I pledge to offer my soul to the goddess above and both body and blood to her church on earth. Very good.
その若さでの任命いささか異例ではあるのだが
It is exceedingly rare for one at your age to be appointed to this position.
そなたの適性および研鑽が実を結んだものであると信じよう
I can only assume your aptitudes and training achievements warranted it.
これより先は女神のしもべとして奇跡の守護者たるべく励むがいい
Make strive to be a worthy guardian of the goddess's sacraments as her loyal and devoted servant.
やあ、ケビン・グラハム。
Well, if it isn't Kevin,
無事お偉いさんの審議をくぐり抜けたようで何よりだ。
I see you managed to avoid having your promotion rejected by the top brass.
良きかな、良きかな。
Splendid, splendid.
セルナート教官、いろいろとお世話になりました。
Instructor, I really can't thank you enough for all you've done for me.
まさか守護騎士ほどの方に監督していただけるなんて思ってもいませんでしたわ。
I never dreamed I would have an actual Dominion supervising my training.
首相な態度だな。
How sweet of you to say.
とても身一つで風星省に乗り込んで俺を騎士にしてくれなんて頼み込んだ少年とは思えないくらいだ。
Hard to believe you're the same boy who waltzed up before the congregation for the sacrament shouting, "Make me a knight, please."
あれは俺も若かったってことで。
I'd appreciate if you chucked that memory back into the furthest reaches of your mind. Thank you.
まあちょうどその場に居合わせていたからこそ私も君に興味を持ったのだがね。
Oh, but how could I? Had I missed your groveling, I never would have taken an interest in you in the
し
first
かし
place.
その君がまさかルフィナの身内だったとはな。
And not in a million years would I have thought you were related to Rafina.
どうせだったら彼女を頼って門を叩けばよかったものを。
You could have asked her to take you on as her pupil before resorting to such drastic measures, you silly boy.
いや、いろいろと事情がありまして。
Well, I had my reasons. Let's leave it at that.
ま、司祭はいいさ。
Very well, it doesn't matter at this point
こ
anyway.
れで君も晴れて我らと同じ教会の犬となったわけだ。
Congratulations, you're now a dog of the church just like the rest of us.
これからよろしく頼むぞ。
It's good to have you on board.
こちらこそ。
Thank you.
しかし犬っちゅんはさすがに身も蓋もなくないですか？
I'm not sure that's the most reassuring metaphor to be using on new recruits, though.
痛いけな新人にかける言葉やないと思うんですけど。
You might scare some of them right off.
君が痛いけという玉か。
Please, you're not trying to position yourself as some sweet doe-eyed thing, are you?
それに我らの実態はまさにそういった類のものさ。
Besides, I think it's a perfectly apt description for us.
奇跡の匂いを嗅ぎ回り、それに見入られし下法あらば喉に食らいつき噛みちぎる。
We go around sniffing out sacraments wherever they may be, tearing through the throats of the heretical fools who are enamored with them all the while.
これを犬と言わずして何という。
Can you spot the difference?
散々脅されましたし、今さらビビりはせえへんですけど。
Come on, instructor. I'm used to you at this point, so I don't really care if you call me a dog.
でも、
But
分かっているさ、青少年。
you care if I call your beloved Rufina one, don't you?
君の大事な人までそんな風に呼んでほしくない。
Not to worry, Kevin. I can read between the lines well enough.
つまり、そういうことだろ。
Well, did I guess right?
だから違いますって。
I owe her a lot, but I wouldn't call her my beloved.
ルフィナ姉さん、俺の恩人っていうだけです。
She's just like a big sister to me, that's all.
別にそんなつもりは。
You're making it sound like
そんなつもりってどういうつもりなのかしら？
Like you... What, exactly?
ルフィナ姉さん
Rufina?
確か任務でレミフェリアに行ってたって。
I thought you were in Remiferia on a mission.
あなたの叙任式に間に合うよう頑張ってお仕事を終わらせたの。
I was, but I tried to finish as quickly as possible so I could be back for your appointment ceremony.
おめでとうケビン。
I'm so proud of you, Kevin.
まさかこんなに早く一人前になってしまうなんてね。
It's amazing just how fast you've grown. Now you're a full-fledged adult like me.
ルフィナ姉さん
Wow. Thanks for going out of your way to come here.
まだまだ半人前もいいところや。
I'm not sure I deserve to be called an adult yet, though.
早いところ姉さんたちの足元くらいには追いつけるよう頑張らへんとな。
I've got a whole lot of work ahead of me if I want to be half the knight the two of you are.
あら、ずいぶん謙虚なのね。
Oh my, how modest of you.
ところでリースにはもう知らせたの？
By the way, have you let Reese know about all of this yet?
いや、今夜にでも手紙を書いて出すつもりや。
Not yet. I'm planning to write to her
あい
tonight.
つ、俺がいきなりアルテリア行きを決めたから、えらい腹立ててるみたいでな。
She's been real mad at me ever since I decided to come to Arteria, though.
なんとか機嫌を取っとかんと。
Hopefully this will cheer her up a bit. There's not much else I can do to make up with her short of going home.
暇ができたら一緒に里帰りでもしましょう。
Perhaps we should do that together at some point, if we can find the time.
それからありがとうアイン。
Oh, and while I have the chance, thank you so much for looking after him all this time, Ein.
貴重な休暇を潰してまでわざわざ面倒を見てくれて。
You've given up so much of your free time, and I really do appreciate it.
なんのなかなかいい暇つぶしだった。
Think nothing of it. It proved quite a fun way to kill time.
武術にしても砲術にしてもそこそこ筋は良かったしな。
He has a fair amount of potential in combat, arts, and thaumaturgy too.
もっとも実技ばかりで教養の方は今一つだったが。
It's a shame all his skills are on the practical side of things, however, his academic side is less than stellar.
ああ、そんなことだろうと思ったわ。
I had a feeling that I had this feeling in the pit of my stomach that may be the case.
ねえ。と、そうや。総務局の人に呼ばれてたんや。
Oh right, I've got to get going.
新しいメダルと部屋の鍵を受け取りに行かへんと。
I have to pick up my new room key and medal from the general affairs guys.
そんじゃ姉さん、また後でな。
Sorry, I'll talk to you later. Oh,
どうした？
what's this? You look so concerned.
やはり身内を危険な仕事に引き込みたくはなかったか。
Feeling guilty because he followed you into such a dangerous line of work?
ううん。どのような道を選ぶかはあの子の自由だから。
Not at all. That was completely up to him and him alone. I would never try to dictate his life choices.
でも
It's just that
お前が自慢するだけあって筋もいいし根性もある。
I think he'll make a fine knight, personally.
必ずやいい騎士になるだろう。
He checks all the boxes, he's got the potential, he's got the determination. All in all, I can see why you're so proud of him.
それにルフィナ、
And
これは私の勘なんだが、
call it a hunch,
ひょっ
but
としたら彼は
I wouldn't be surprised if
あな
he
たと同じように成功が現れるかもしれない。
if a stigma manifested in him just like it has in you.
選ばれぬ身でそれに気づくか。
Well, I'm impressed. I didn't think you could sense that of others if you didn't possess one yourself.
つくづくお前が守護騎士の一人であったらと
Yet,
改めて思い知らされるよ。
yet one more reason to feel frustrated that you aren't a Dominion.
いくら親友でも褒めすぎよ。
I know we're friends, but there's no need for all the
武
flattery.
術も砲術も10人並み。
My combat and thaumaturgy abilities are average at best. I wouldn't be cut out for the job at all.
聖騎士になれただけでも上出来と言えるくらいだわ。
I'm grateful enough to have been promoted from squire to knight. That's the upper limit for someone with my lack of potential.
そう思っているのはお前だけさ。
If only you saw things the way I do.
例の蛇が絡んだ事件、尋常ではない使い手が相手だったそうじゃないか。
Someone with average at best abilities couldn't have handled your Ouroboros case half as well as you did.
それを見事にあしらって解決に導いたと聞いているぞ。
Fighting off a man that reported strength to a swift enough conclusion would be a pretty feather in anyone's cap.
あれは相手がわきまえた人だったから落としどころに持っていけただけよ。
It was just my luck that we both came to an
で
understanding.
もケビンは違う。私なんか比べ物にならないほど優れた素質を持っているわ。
As far as Kevin goes, he wouldn't need to rely on luck. His potential for growth extends further than I'll ever be able to go.
でもね、
But he has one weakness holding him back.
あの子は優しすぎるのよ。
That poor boy is just far too kind.
優しすぎて自分を追い詰めてしまうくらいに。
So kind, in fact, that I can see him driving himself into a corner because of it one day. Chapter 4, The Dark Stigma. Who's in the stones? Who's in the stones? Shara, Zen, Estelle? Who we getting?
あれは
That looks like... Who's that Pokemon? Oliver? Zen?
ジンさん
Zen?
王子、あ
Prince,
んたか。
Prince Oliver? Now this is a surprise.
どうやら夢というわけでもなさそうだな。
Don't think this is a dream, at least.
違いない。
Indeed, it is not.
シェラ君ならともかく、夢の仰せに酒飲み友達というのは、いささか僕の流儀に反するからね。
I'd be overjoyed to share a sweet date with Shara in my dreams, one with a fine drinking companion. Not so much.
お前さんらしいな。
Yeah, this is real,
し
alright.
かし、さすがにシェラザードは酒飲み友達にはならないか。
Still, doesn't Shara count as a drinking companion too?
シェラ君には飲まれても、彼女の酒には決して飲まれるな。
In a way, it's fine to be drunk with the joy of her company, but it is very much the opposite to be drunk with alcohol
リ
involved.
ベールで得た教訓の一つだよ。
That's one of the most important lessons I learned during my stay in Libro.
それはまた随分と貴重な教訓だったようだな。
Truer words have never been spoken.
さてと、
But alright, enough playing around.
どういうことなのか、できれば説明してもらえるか。
You guys mind filling us in on just what kind of situation we've gotten ourselves into?
久々の仰せに感涙して熱いベーゼと抱擁を交わす前にね。
We should make with the embraces and tearful greetings afterward.
まったく。
Honestly,
さすがと言うべきか。
you two really are something
お
special.
二人ともこんな状況で全く動じてへんですな。
You think you'd be a little shaken finding yourselves in somewhere as unnatural as this out of nowhere.
むむむこれはどうしたものか。
This is quite the pickle.
にわかには信じられないだろうが、これが我々の置かれた状況だ。
I appreciate that it may be hard to believe, but that is the situation we find ourselves in at this present time.
まずは受け入れた上で対処していくしかあるまい。
If we're to try and find a way out, we'll need you to accept that.
ああ、ミラー、君は一つ勘違いをしているよ。
Oh, Mueller, my sweet rose-kissed muse, ever pure and free of thorns, you misunderstand me.
すでに僕はこの状況を現実として受け入れているのだから。
I have long accepted our current predicament as
な
reality.
らばどうしてそのようなしかめ面をする？
Then why do you look so deep in thought?
決まっているじゃないか。
Need you even
ヨ
ask?
シア君、クローディア殿下、ティータ君にジョゼット君。
Perhaps my life's toughest decision lies ahead of me. Why do you talk about Claudia, Tita, and Princess Claudia, Tita, and Josette? Oh no.
そしてユリアさんに初対面のリース君。
Before me, I find Joshua, Princess Claudia, Tita, and Josette. Then there's Julia, and even a new face, Reese.
一体誰から再会の抱擁とベーゼを交わそうかと悩んでね。
Just whom shall I gather into my arms like a warm blanket and exchange sweet nothings in celebration first? This man never changes.
本当に相変わらずですね。
Only you.
ねえ、ヨシは
Joshua?
本当にこれが帝国の王子殿下なわけ？
You were pulling my leg when you said this guy was an Erebonian prince, right?
一応そうみたいだね。
Hard as it is to believe, he is.
とまあ、それは半分冗談だとして。
Putting my deeply earnest dilemma aside for the time being,
話を聞いている限り、事件の謎も少しずつではあるが明らかになっているようだ。
it sounds as though you've been making some headway in unraveling the mysteries behind this place.
その意味では僕も喜んで協力させてもらいたいところだが、
Naturally, I would be more than honored to help with that.
その前にいくつか確認しておきたいことがある。
But first, you've got a few questions you need to ask, right?
そんなところか。
I know I sure do.
さすがジンさん。
I know I should have known you would be thinking along the same lines.
話を聞いていて僕と同じような疑問を抱いたようだね。
You're exactly right.
同じような疑問？
Fine by me. What do you want to ask?
何か気づいたことでも？
Do you think you figured something out?
そうだな。
That's
いく
what
つ
I
かあ
want
る
to
んだ
find
が
out.
まずは何度か現れたという女の霊という存在についてだ。
First, I want to ask you about that ghost you've encountered in
彼
here.
女ですか？
Ask away.
確か偽のグランセル城の女王宮で最初に現れたんですよね。
If I remember correctly, the first time you met her was on the balcony in Grand Cell Castle, yes?
ええ。殿下のもとに至るための鍵を我々に託してくれました。
Indeed it was. She gave us the key that allowed us to eventually find and rescue
し
you.
かし、最初に現れたという意味では、それより以前のようですね。
That was the first time she appeared to us as a ghost, but I don't believe it was the first time she directly communicated with you. Was it, Father?
確かに。
Don't think so,
俺
anyway.
とリースが最初にこの場所に飛ばされた時に聞こえてきた声。
When Reese and I first arrived here, we heard a strange voice talking to us. We didn't have a clue who it belonged to at the time,
どうやらあれも彼女だったみたいです。
but I think that was probably her too.
そうですね。
As do I.
最初は声だけだった存在が姿を見せ始めている。
So at first she existed here only as a voice, but she's gradually started showing up with the body too.
あの黒いお兄さんが言ったことを裏付けているかもしれませんね。
I know that's a weird way to put it, but if it's true, it backs up what that man in black said last time we saw him.
なあ、王に力を奪われた忍者という呼ばれ方。
Yeah, he said the Lord of Phantasma had stolen most of her power, right?
そして庭園の主という表現か。
He kept referring to her as the hermit and master of the Hollow Garden too.
そしてそこの石碑には忍者の庭園という言葉が刻まれているという。
Plus the inscription on that monument behind us has the hermit's garden written on
そ
it.
れらの話から推測すると
I think all of us here can connect the dots just fine.
この拠点そのものが彼女に関係している何らかの場所だということか。
Agreed. It's reasonable to conclude that this very garden is connected to her in some way. That's
な
true.
るほど。ちょ
Makes
っと
sense to
納
me.
得感。ここってわけがわからないけど、他と違って妙に居心地がいいし。
It also explains why this place is kind of comfy compared to the other weird, fiend-infested places in Phantasma.
少し見えてきましたな。
Feels like we're getting closer to the truth with every new
どうや
revelation.
ら彼女はもともとこの場所にいた存在らしい。
By the sounds of it, she's been in Phantasma for a while now, possibly since the
し
beginning.
かし影の王のせいで力を奪われてあんな姿になった。
But then she had her power stolen by the Lord of Phantasma and ended up without a body.
そんな状態にもかかわらず俺らの手助けをしてくれている。
Since then, she's been trying to help us to the best of her abilities and guide us forward.
その意味では各地に点在している石碑も彼女ゆかりかもしれませんね。
If we assume all of that to be true, maybe the monuments scattered throughout are connected to her somehow too.
まるで僕たちを導くかのように置かれていますから。
They seem to exist for the same purpose, guiding us forward.
そう。そして同じことがある重要な品についても言える。
I think there's one more thing in our possession that's connected to her as
ケ
well.
ビン神父、
That
君が持っている
cube, Kevin.
あ、
You think
そ
so?
の宝石の正体は今のところ定かではないが、
Unfortunately, your guess is as good as mine on what exactly that cube
少なく
is.
とも彼女ゆかりの品である可能性は高いと思う。
That being said, I think the odds of it being connected to her somehow are as high as everything else on the list so far.
どうだろう、この読みは。
Well, what do you think?
いや大したもんですわ。
Honestly, I'm
正
impressed.
直この混沌とした状況でかなり情報が整理できた感じです。
You've done a remarkable job of making sense of the situation when you've only just
し
arrived.
かしそうなるとただ前に進む以外にも目的が一つ増えましたな。
Still, if we assume all that to be true, then there's something else we should be doing as we keep moving
彼
forward.
女の力を取り戻して詳しい話を聞かせていただく。
Helping to restore her power, I
つ
assume.
まりそういうことですね。
That way, we should be able to ask her what else she knows about the land we're in.
ね、その通りですわ。
Got it in
多
one.
分そうでもしないとあの影の王たちにはとても対抗できへんでしょう。
I get this impression that if we don't, we won't stand a chance against those two. We'll find ourselves up against a wall at some point.
確かに。
You may well be right.
それはそれでいいとして、
Well, leaving her aside for the
もう
time
一つだ
being,
け確認したいことがあるんだ。
I do have one final thing I'd like to ask.
まだあるんですか？
Well, what else is there to cover?
ああ、その影の王についてさ。
It concerns that Lord of Phantasma you kept mentioning, actually.
単刀直入に聞くが、君心当たりはないのかい？
Put simply, you wouldn't happen to have any ideas to who they are, would you, Kevin?
どうして俺に？
Why
い
me?
や何、話を聞いていると君にご執心のようだからね。
Well, from my perspective, they're awfully fixated on you.
亡くなられたというリース君の姉上についても知っていたようだし。
They seem to know about the Reese's deceased sister as well. Then there's the fact they're even able to summon devils from the church's texts.
さらに悪魔などという君たちの聖典ゆかりの存在すら召喚して刺激するくらいだ。
It all seems to be pointing to you two, and you in particular.
そう言われると確かに。
I could see why you'd ask, I
ただ
guess.
残念ですけど、特に心当たりはないですわ。
Unfortunately for you, though, I got nothing.
どちらかというと俺より聖杯騎士団に敵対してる連中なのかもしれません。
If anything, I say they seem to be an enemy of the Gralsritter as a whole, rather than just me.
こう言ってはなんだが、敵が多そうな組織のようだから、それもあり得る話か。
I suppose that's possible. I wouldn't be surprised if an organization like that had more than their fair share of enemies.
かくいう僕も敵が多いという意味では似たような立場にあるけどね。
No offense, of course. I have plenty of enemies myself.
まったく何を人事みたいに。
Try not to sound like it's something worth boasting about.
敵の正体に関しては引き続き保留になりそうですね。
Anyway, even if we've connected some dots, we'll have to save the mystery behind who our enemies are for another day.
もう少し相手から情報を引き出せるといいんですが。
Maybe we can get more information out of them the next time we see them. But until then, we don't have enough to work with.
今度現れたら何とか聞き出してみるとしよ
Right. Next time one of them shows up, we'll have to see what we can force out
う。
of
そんじ
them.
ゃ例によって準備を整えたら早速出発するとしますか。
That about wrap things up for now? If so, we should probably get ready to head out again.
目的地は第4星層。合流地点にある天意陣の先やね。
We're on plane number 4, and if previous planes are anything to go by, it's gonna be tough.
ケビン、
Kevin?
なんや？
What's up?
なんか他に言っとくことでもあったか？
Did you have something else you wanted to add?
いえ、
No.
少し体調が優れないので、私は遠慮させていただこうかと。
It's just that I'm not feeling very well, so I'm going to sit the next plane out.
え？
What?
申し訳ありませんが、ケビンをよろしくお願いします。
I'm sorry for the trouble, everyone, but please look out for him on my
無
behalf.
茶はしないと思いますが、爪が甘いところがありますので。
He shouldn't be cause you too much trouble, but as I'm sure you know, he can be a little careless at times.
リースさん、ちょっと
Reese, wait a sec.
いいのか、追いかけなくても。
Are you not gonna go after her?
すいません。ちょっと行ってきますわ。
Sorry, I'll be back in a minute.
リース、おい、リースってば。なあ、
What's with you
何
all of
怒
a
ってんの
sudden?
よ。ああ、そっか。
Oh, I know. Are
さ
you
すが
feeling
にお
left
前の
out
知ら
because
へん
I'm
連
the
中ば
only
っかや
one
も
you
んな。
know here and everyone else is all buddy-buddy?
なのに俺だけ盛り上がって。
Sorry, Reese, probably wasn't fun to have to sit through the whole happy reunion deal over and over when you can't be part of it.
すまん。
I
謝
should have
るわ。
noticed earlier, really. I've been pretty insensitive, so I'm really sorry.
まだごまかすの？
When are you going to stop acting?
確かに、私が少しだけ疎外感を感じていたのも事実。
It's true that I felt a little left out for a while.
さすが、例の事件で一緒に危機を乗り越えてきた仲間なだけはあるって思った。
You've clearly gone through so much together, and it's made you that much more fond of each other in the days since.
ま、いろいろとあったしな。
Yeah, we had some amazing times. Hard to come out the other end of stuff we did without growing closer through it all.
正直、寂しかったし、羨ましかった。
Watching you all, how could I not have felt lonely? How could I have not felt jealous?
この5年間、ケビンはずっと私のことを避けていたから。
You've been avoiding me for the past 5 years, Kevin.
私の知らないところで仲間を作っているケビンを見て、ほんの少しだけ悲しかった。
The thought you'd grown close to so many others while going out of your way to keep me out of arm's reach did make me sad.
リース。
You know I didn't mean it like that, Reese.
でも、それでもいいと思った。
At the same time, I was still happy you did.
あの日、姉様があんなことになって、ケビンは傷ついていたから。
I knew how badly what happened to Rafina had hurt you. How you were still blaming yourself for
自
it.
分を責めて追い込んで汚れた仕事ばかり引き受けて
I knew how you were driving yourself into a corner over it, and how you were taking on nothing but dirty jobs as if you were trying to punish yourself.
擦り切れそうになっているのが噂で聞いても分かったから
And I couldn't confirm it for myself for sure, but I just knew the rumors that you were desperate to burn yourself out through them were
だ
true.
から気を許せる仲間ができたことは寂しかったけど
So that's the
嬉しく
reason.
もあった
That's why, as lonely as I felt when you were off making new friends without me, I was really, really happy more than
リ
anything.
ス、な。
Reese, you do know
でも
that...
違った
Except it turns out you haven't made any new friends at all.
ケビンはあそこにいる誰に対しても気を許したりはしていない
You're pulling the exact same thing you pull with me on them. Every single one at arm's length. They can't get close to you, you won't get close to them.
心が冷めきっているのに表面だけ調子を合わせてるだけ
On the surface, you're a cheerful person having fun with everyone, but on the inside, you're as cold as can be.
感情を完璧にコントロールして気さくな人間のふりをしてるだけ
All you're doing is manipulating your own emotions so people think you're someone you're not.
しばらく見ててやっと分かった
After watching you ever since we were reunited, that's become plain as day to me.
そりゃまた妙な心配をされたもんやな。
Man, I'm happy you're worried about me, but you totally got the wrong idea with this one.
悪いけど、俺はそこまで器用やあらへんで。
Sorry, I'm good at a lot of things, but pretending to be someone I'm not isn't one of them.
嬉しい時は嬉しいし、怒りだってそう抑えられへん。
When I'm happy, you'll know about it, and when I'm mad, well, I think you know I'm not so good at hiding that either.
お前も昔から知ってる。見たまんまの、わかりやすい男や。
I'm the same transparent guy I always was.
確かに
Oh, I didn't say you weren't easy to read, for me at least.
影の王の言葉には本気で動揺してたみたいだね
After all, I know how genuinely shaken you were by the Lord of Phantasma's message.
ケビンは気づいているあの人たちが何を言ってるのかを
Their words and the words of the Short Switcher always come across as cryptic, but not to you. Deep down, you know what they're talking about.
なのに他の人にはわからないふりをしている
You just constantly keep it from the rest of us and try to keep us in the dark.
ひょっとして自分自身にも
No, maybe you've even managed to pull the wool over your own eyes too.
何言って。
Come on now, you can't
新た
seriously
なる供物を食らい
devour
汝
the new
が
offering
印を
presented
発
to you
現させるがいい
and display your seal once more.
あれはどういう意味なの
You know what that means. You know exactly what that means, don't you? Go on.
なあ、リス。お前は少し疲れてるんや。
You know what? Maybe you should sit things out for a bit. You're clearly really tired. What?
俺への怒りと不満。それが変な風に結びついて、見当外れな方向に向かってる。
I get that you're as angry as you are upset with me, but I think it's starting to make you jump to some really out there conclusions.
疲れてるから、そんな風に悪い方に考えるんや。
And being tired out's only going to make it worse. Can't you see how your negative line of can't you see how negative your line of thinking is? You can't seriously believe all of this is actually true.
正直、お前には悪いことをしたと思ってる。
I'm not saying I don't deserve all the anger. I totally do.
忙しかったのは確かやし、合わす顔がなかったいうのも正直なところや。
I genuinely was busy, but at the same time I wasn't sure how to face you if we did end up meeting either.
でも、これから一緒に仕事することになるんやか
Still,
ら。
we're gonna be working together from now on,
も
so
ういい
enough.
Eh?
Damn, she slapped him. Got his ass.
いい加減にして
Everything you're saying is just meaningless.
そんな空ごと私に通用すると思うの
Maybe the others don't realize it, but how dare you think I, of all people, would fall for it?
重騎士失格だけどこのまま一緒にはいられない
I realize I'm turning my back on my duties as a squire by doing this, but I can't bear to be near you any
これ
longer.
以上空っぽなケビンを私は見ていたくないから
I can't stand to see the Kevin I thought I knew so empty.
だから
So,
ケビンさん
Kevin? Damn, Joshua was last, didn't it? Josh will probably see through him too, to be honest.
ヨシュア君か。
Oh, hey.
みっともないところを見せてしまったみたいやな。
I'm sorry you had to see that.
いえ
Don't worry about it.
なあ、ヨシュア君。
I want to know something, Joshua.
君、俺のことある程度は調べたんやろ？
You've looked into me a fair bit since I first stepped onto the scene, right?
それなりに
I have.
下法狩りケビン・グラハム
I know that you're called the Heretic Hunter.
聖杯騎士団を率いる12名のドミニオンの一人
I know that you're one of the 12 Dominions that lead the Graal's
そ
Richter.
して許されざる滞在人の処刑を一手に引き受けているという
And I know you
代
undertake
行者
and I know you undertake the execution of sinners the church deems most unforgivable almost single-handedly.
さすがやな。
I figured you know your stuff.
エステルちゃんに近寄る男の経歴くらいは徹底的に調べてるか。
Wouldn't want any guys whose backgrounds you hadn't thoroughly vetted being close to your girlfriend for long, huh?
ええ
I can't deny it.
しかしあなたは罪人以外決して危害を加えたことがない
Still, the only people you harm are those sinners, never anyone else.
その意味で当面は危険はないと判断したんです
So I decided that, for the time being at least, you weren't a threat to her or anyone else.
なるほどな。
I see.
やはりワイスマンはあなたが
Weissman was your work too, wasn't it?
なあ、
Sure was.
もともと俺の任務は奴を消すということだけや。
My job was to get rid of him. That's it.
それ以外のことは全て仕込みと目くらましに過ぎん。
Everything I did with you guys leading up to that point was to get myself into a position to get it done without him catching on.
君らとの協力関係もな。
That includes helping all of you out, naturally.
分かっています
Yeah, I know.
エステルがグロリアスに連れ去られた一件
You must have been aware of the possibility that Estelle would be taken on board the Glorious too.
あれも多分あなたは最初から見越していたはずだ
You thought allowing it to happen would help you in the long run, so you kept quiet about it. Uh-oh.
そこまで見抜くか。
Wow, now that one I'm surprised you pieced
そ
together.
う。俺はエステルちゃんがさらわれる可能性に気づきながら何の対応もせえへんかった。
But yep, you're absolutely right. I figured there was a chance she might get abducted, but I did exactly nothing to stop it.
彼女を餌にすることで
One second, I got a DM. Oh no, it's not time for that.
君の動
Okay,
向
good.
をつかむつもりやった。
All I cared about was finding out what Weissman and you were up to, and where you were, for that matter. Couldn't use better bait for that than her. Oh, I wouldn't have said that to Joshua. You trying to die?
そうでしょうね
I thought so.
それでも僕はあなたに感謝しています
And yet, all of that doesn't change how I'm more grateful than words can express. Why is that?
あなたの協力がなかったら僕は教授の操り人形のままだった
Because if you hadn't helped me back then, I would still be Weissman's puppet.
何よりも大切なものをこの手で壊してしまうところ
I
だ
would
った
have broken with my own hands what I value most in the whole world.
その借りは一生かかっても返せないと思っているくらいです
That's a debt I'll never be able to fully repay.
大げさやな。
Sweet Eidos, now you're just being
言っ
cute.
ておくけど、あれは君のためにやったんやないで。
I know you're smart enough to realize that's not at all why I threw you a bone, right?
君の呪縛が解けることで、奴を動揺させて隙を作る。
I just wanted him off his guard enough to create the opening I needed.
それを狙ってやったことや。
Helping you is the perfect way to do that. That was all there was to it.
それでも僕はあなたに感謝せずにはいられない
And again, that doesn't change how grateful I am to
そ
you.
の正体を知ってもなお好意を抱いてしまうくらいに
Knowing why you did that doesn't erase the gratitude I feel, not in the slightest.
君、結社を抜けて正解だったかもしれへんな。
It really is just as well you ended up quitting
向い
Ouroboros.
てへんで、どう考えても。
You'd suck to high heaven if you were an enforcer now.
今更ですが
Honestly,
僕もそう思い
you're
ます
totally right.
リースさんの代わりはしばらく僕が務めましょう
If Reese is sitting on the sidelines for now, let me help you in her place.
彼女ほどではないでしょうがケビンさんのバックアップを務められると思います
I might not be as capable of helping you as she is, but I should be able to back you up.
だから狩りとか考えなくてもええっちゅうの
You don't need to feel indebted to me, you know?
に。でもまあええか。君かてエステルちゃんのことが心配で仕方ないところやろうし。
Well, I'll take what I can get. No doubt you're worried sick about Estelle too, so there's your gold star reason for helping out besides me.
ありがたく力を貸してもらうで。
So thanks. I'm glad you got my back.
ええそうしてください
Right back at you. So I guess just Joshua's the new required party member in that case. Let's see here. I think I would like to bring Olivier as a caster. What was his voice say?
Your aid, please.
Anyways, I think that's good. And then I think the next person, oh wow, it means we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 maybe party members left. If there's 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, yep. We haven't even found everybody yet. It's a lot of party members. I'm assuming that's what's gonna happen anyway. You know, he can do well with arts and casting and stuff as well, so I don't need to bring Chloe along for that. Zen might be fine. I always liked Zen. I was always a fan of him. Yeah, we'll bring along big man Zen. Okay. And on that note, we're gonna save, and that will conclude this episode of Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky, the 3rd. Be sure to follow me on Twitch if you want to catch some of my other games that I play through in a more interactive setting at twitch.tv/Project Aurora. You can also join the community Discord, which will also be in the video description as well. Thanks for watching, and I will be back and see you later.